Welcome to Mission to Inspire with Shola Ajibad, where inspiration, purpose, and abundance come alive. Together, we'll empower lasting change, helping you step boldly into your greatest potential. Hi everyone, welcome to Mission to Inspire. My name is Shola, as you all know, and I'm joined today by Katharine Giovanni. How are you?
I'm fine. Thank you for having me today.
Oh my goodness. Oh my God. We are so happy to have you on our show today, and we'll be talking about a few things. But before we dive in, I'm just going to say a little bit about you. Are you ready to unlock a life of abundance, wealth, and purpose? I'm Shola Ajibad, your money, abundance, and prosperity coach, and I'm inviting you to join me on the Faith Hub, where faith meets prosperity. Inside this hub, Faith Hub, you get to access my exclusive coaching, powerful money affirmations, and life-changing resources to help you. And then I'm going to leave the floor to you, Katharine, to introduce yourself properly. So Katharine is a three-time award-winning, best-selling author, speaker, and one of the original founders of the independent concierge industry. So, and she has written over a dozen. Wow, how many books have you written? It says over.
12.
Pardon?
I've written 12.
12. Oh my God.
I love to write. It's my happy place.
Great. And your ultimate book is actually The Ultimate Path to Forgiveness.
Right.
We're talking about that today. So do you want to say anything more about you? Do you want to introduce yourself better? Actually, we want to hear more. We want to know you.
Well, my path to forgiveness was filled with bumps and potholes as they were. I was raised by a dysfunctional family, as many of us were. A lot of alcoholism, and they were really quite pickled people. I was bullied in school, like many of us were. And I tried to commit suicide in the 8th grade. So I kind of turned into one of those teenagers, you know, the ones I'm talking about. They're angry at life, they have one friend, that kind of thing. So I kind of just bumped my way through life, really, for years until my mother got sober. And she fell down a flight of stairs, broke her hip, and ended up in the hospital. And even my mother couldn't get a gin and tonic in the hospital. So she dried out and we sent her to rehab. And I spent the next 3 years making friends with her again. We became closer than sisters. I had 3 absolutely brilliant years with her. And then she died of breast cancer.
Oh, no.
And I knew that it was kind of my flashpoint. It was the moment that everything changed because I knew that if I didn't get my act together, I was going to die too. So I'm now 34 years sober. I quit drinking myself. And I just decided to change my life. And I'm also a breast cancer survivor. There was that. But, you know, when people say you need to forgive and forget, nobody teaches you how. And what if you don't want to? Or what if you were shy like I was? Now, they call me an extroverted introvert now because I've taught myself how to do all these things. But my knee-jerk reaction is shy. So it's telling me I have to reach out and talk to people and get them to forgive me? No, not a fan. Not even a little bit of a fan. So, and then they say, well, you'll forgive and forget. No, not going to happen. I don't know one person on the planet that can forget something horrible that happened to you. So, not doing that either. So, the new method I have come up with is an actual step-by-step system on how to forgive people. And let me take everybody's stress off their shoulders right now. You don't have to reach out and call them. There you go. Boom. You can do it in the privacy of your own home. Nobody has to know.
Right. I mean, yes, forgiveness, yes. To forget, I think, is very hard.
Nobody can forget. And on a 10 scale, every single one of you now, including you, my friend, everybody, when they hear the word forgiveness or they read the title of this broadcast, 10 out of 10 people on a 10 scale, with 10 being unforgivable dumpster fire and one being the easiest person in the world to forgive, y'all are thinking of your number 10s. Every single one of you. You're thinking of the person that hurt you the most. And you know what? That's fair. That's absolutely fair. But in my world, you don't have to forgive your number 10 person. Nobody else in the world is going to tell you that one. You don't. You don't have to forgive that person because some things are completely unforgivable. Now, why don't you have to forgive them? Because there's other people, places, and things. And I did say places and things, so just stay with me. I have science to back myself up. But there's so many other people that you can forgive before you even get to that dumpster fire. You could start with the ones, twos, and threes, of your list. The easy people, the person who tripped you in school in the hallway. You can forgive that person. The person who stole your parking space yesterday. You can forgive that person. The person who cut you off on aisle 5 of the grocery store. You can forgive this person. Start with the easy ones. Then we work up our way to the hard ones.
Mm. Yes, yes, that's true though. That's true. But I think forgiveness is a personal thing. Like you said, not everybody wants to forgive, not to talk of forgiveness, to forgetting about something horrible that happened.
You're never going to forget. You're never going to forget the horrible things. Listen, I had a rough childhood, not as rough as some people, but it was rough enough.
Mm,
And I wore that story like a badge of honor. It fueled my fire. Look what I've survived. Look at the stuff that I've been through in my life. Money problems, cancer. I mean, I kind of have all the big titles. Look at what happened. Look at me. And if I lost that story, who was I going to be?
mm,
What was my identity? It's very scary once you do. But let me give you an example. For
yes,
anybody listening to this broadcast, I'm about to hold a very opaque purple, because I love purple, coffee cup right in front of my face.
yeah.
So for the moment, this coffee cup, well, actually it's tea. This teacup, actually it really is tea. It's not just because I'm talking to you guys. It really is tea.
Okay,
This teacup represents bitterness and anger and negative self-talk.
right.
And
Yeah,
look at my body language. I'm holding it off to the side. We can still have a conversation. I'm managing my anger. I'm managing everything brilliantly. Look, because we could talk, we could go out for a meal.
yeah.
Perfectly easy. The longer I hold on to this, the harder it's going to be to hold. So now look at my body language. And now I'm using two hands to hold it up. It's starting to penetrate my conversations with people. And if
Mm,
I hold on too long to it, now look at my body language. I can't even see you anymore. It's right in front of me. My entire body is engaged in holding up this anger. It's all I'm talking about.
mm,
My dream relationship might have just walked in. I'd miss it because I couldn't see it. I'm focused on the anger. My dream job, more money, a greater way to lose weight, might have just come in, but I'm not paying attention to it. I'm paying attention to my anger.
mm,
So to become the person that you want to be and you've been dreaming about, you need to lose the anger. But forgiveness for me is the formal definition is I want you out of my head.
mm,
Period.
mm.
I can look back at my childhood now that I've done my forgiveness system, and it's a marathon, not a sprint. It's going to take a minute. You can't get a number 10 person down to a 1 overnight. Not going to happen. It's going to take a while. But
Yes,
I can look back at my childhood now and I can pick out the love that was there. I can pick out the funnier memories. I can still regurgitate all the negative stuff if you want me to, but I remember the love now. So it's kind of changed my perspective. See, forgiveness is selfish. You do it for you. And just because I forgive you doesn't mean I want a relationship with you. I probably don't.
that's true.
And just because I forgive you
Mm,
doesn't mean I'm giving you a pass. It doesn't mean that you were right. You're still wrong. You're still awful. It's still a dumpster fire. I'm forgiving for me because I want you out of my head. I don't want to think about you anymore. I don't want to kind of walk into a bakery and be reminded of somebody's bread and we had a bad, fight in the kitchen, whatever the memory is. I want them out of my head. And for me, that's what forgiveness is. You don't have to reach out and talk to these people if you don't want to. If you do, go for it, but you don't have to. And to be perfectly blunt, you can forgive dead people. Because you're forgiving for you, it doesn't matter where they are or where they're not. So
Mm,
if my family's mostly passed on, to be honest, they've all died. And I forgave and picked out all the members of my family, including my mother and father who have passed, and I forgave them because I did it for me. It didn't matter that they were already passed. I was still carrying it around. I
mm.
mean, is it crazy? A 63-year-old woman is carrying around something that happened in grammar school when she was like in the eighth grade? Yeah, it's crazy. Yet it was tripping my life up. It was tripping me up.
Wow. Wow. Kind of, well, there's truth in everything that you said, to be honest. There's truth. I mean, when we're talking about anger and
But
the person that offended us in our heads, that kind of makes sense. Because really and truly, the only reason why we are not forgiven is because we are angry with that person.
you're angry and you're bitter and you're resentful and they made you feel horrible. Maybe they were a narcissist and they twisted a situation that was really their fault, making it into your fault, which
Exactly.
narcissists love to do.
Yeah.
That's very hard to come back from. Maybe it's a number 10 person and it was an unforgivable act.
Mm, mm,
Entirely possible. So what do you do? How do you forgive something that's unforgivable? Well,
mm.
there's a reason why I call it a dumpster fire. And here comes the science for the naysayers. There's a whole chapter on science in my book for anybody who wants it.
Okay.
But Einstein proved beyond a shadow of a doubt
Mm-hmm.
that energy is neither created nor destroyed. It just like, transforms into something else. So when everybody gets angry, it leaves your mouth and you think it disappears into the clouds. It does not. It hangs in your energy field and it's going to stay there until you clear it. So that's why forgiveness is one of the vehicles that we use to clear that energy. There
Mm,
was a study done by a Japanese researcher called Masumoto, and it was a Japanese water study. You can Google it, it's right online, real easy to find. And what he did, and so I'm going to dumb this down, he took two containers of water. One container he spoke nothing but love to, just words, spoke to it, sang to it, just absolutely loved on it. The other container of water, he said nasty things, hate, negative, horrible things to it. Then he put the water under a microscope. The water that he said negative things to had these black and brown sludgy formations and cells. The
mm.
water he spoke love to had these gorgeous snowflake looking formations too. So why
Wow.
am I telling you this? Your body is 98% water. So if your self-talk is negative and you're filled with anger and hate, what do you think you're doing to the cells in your body? This is why I'm very much into the how of things. This is how anger is toxic because that anger is literally changing the cells of your body from a positive to a negative, and it's making you sick. And forgiveness is going to change it back. It's one of the ways you can change it back.
Mm. Wow. Wow. That is
Yeah,
powerful. That is powerful.
I don't think everybody realizes how damaging anger can be.
No.
Overlooking the fact that if you're so focused on the anger, your friend circle is going to go from a lot of people down to one because who wants to be around you? You're negative all the time and it's all you're talking about. And even if you spin the stories funny, you're still talking about it.
Stop talking. Yeah, that's
Well,
true.
how do you get a number 10 down? I did say people, places, and things. One of the things Einstein also proved that there's energy around everything,
Yeah.
including inanimate objects.
Yeah.
So let's say every day I drive to work and on the left-hand side of the road, because I am talking to the UK, I could never drive in the UK. I would end up in a car accident. But let's say you're driving down the road and you get to a red light and you turn your head to the right and there's the school there's where you went to school right there.
Mm-hmm.
And in the playground, you got bullied. And you look at the playground, you look at the school, the memories, the bad memories kind of come back into your head. So by the time you arrive to work, you're in a horrible mood. Through no fault of anybody at work, you're just in a bad mood. And you know you're in a bad mood and you can't shake it. So what do? Okay, I want you to forgive. If you can't forgive the bully or the person who committed the unforgivable act, forgive other things in the memory. In this particular memory, you want to forgive the actual school building, the energy around the building. You want to forgive the table, the bed, the chair, the desk, the playground, the kids who hung around who didn't actually help. Forgiving the energy is the one piece everybody misses. It's the special sauce to the whole thing. Nobody remembers to forgive the energy around people. So you forgive the person, the energy around the person, yourself, the energy around you, and then the energy around the whole thing.
Wow. I don't think a lot
The
of people think
energy.
about the energy.
It's the energy that nobody remembers. See, I have people come up to me all the time say, well, Mrs. Giovanni, I did forgive them. Sure you did. I know you did. Absolutely you did. We'll overlook the fact they usually tell me that through clenched teeth. Okay, I think it's clear you have to do another pass. You're still angry, but you didn't forgive the energy. Now, if it's an unforgivable act and you just can't bring yourself, I had a friend who just couldn't bring herself to forgive any part of the memory. It was so dark. Okay, so start here. I forgive myself for not being able to forgive and the energy around myself. Start with that. It's going to be just enough to move the dial a little bit and let a little bit of light in. But that's why these number 10s, they're a bear, man. They're a bear. I want you to start with the ones. I want you to sit down with a pen and paper or your phone. I really don't care. Just, I want you to write down a bunch of names that you think you have to forgive. And then I want you to rate them from 1 to 10. And you could have 5 number 6s. I really don't care. You can do whatever you want. But when you sit down to do the mantra that I have in my book, and I do have the audio book available for anybody who doesn't like to read, when you sit down to do the mantra, I want you to start with the number 1s. Start with the easy ones. Work your way up to the 10s. Because when you get to the 8, 9s, and 10s, okay, they're interfering with your life big time. And they're bothering you. But people are going to notice you're doing it. And even if you only forgive your 1s, 2s, and 3s, they're going to look at you and say, did you get a haircut? Are you wearing a new outfit? You look so good today. Sure you do. Your energy field is lightened up and they can feel it. You can either tell them what you did or keep it to yourself. It's
Exactly.
completely up to you.
Yeah, yeah. Do you know there will be situations that had happened in the past that a lot of people had actually forgotten about? But then when they remember that situation, that's when that triggers.
Right. But that's the thing about forgiveness. It's like peeling back the layers of an onion, isn't it? You peel back those first few layers and more memories are going to come out. The brain is a brilliant tool and it protects you. So as you forgive those first few layers, your brain's going to go, oh, look, okay, here's an opening. And it's going to give you more memories that you've forgotten. That's why a number 10 can often be very, very, especially if it's a relative. Relatives are really hard if it's your mother or your father, because you don't just have one instant. You got like 3 dozen of them, all bad memories. So take your pick one. So that's why getting a 10 down to a 1 isn't going to happen overnight. It's going to take some time because you're going to have to peel back the memories and be good to yourself as you're doing it because it's a process. A lot of people call this shadow work because you're dealing with you're forgiving stuff that's in the shadows. It's in your past. That's what they call it.
Yeah.
And I have a lot of people come up to me and says, my childhood was so bad, I don't want to go back there. Okay, you don't have to. I'm just asking you to, well, you do, but I'm just asking you to go back 1 or 2 more times and then you're done. You never have to think about it again. And forgiving yourself, hello, you might want to add your own name to the list. Everybody has something they need to forgive themselves for.
Forgive themselves for. Wow. Wow. Food for thought. Food for thought there. Wow. Thank you so much.
Oh,
You,
my pleasure.
you suffered 3 breast cancer. Are you ready to unlock a life of abundance, wealth, and purpose? I'm Shola Ajibad, your money, abundance, and prosperity coach. And I'm inviting you to join me on the Faith Hub, where faith meets prosperity. Inside this hub, Faith Hub, you get to access my exclusive coaching, powerful money affirmations, and life changing resources to help you attract financial success and walk boldly in abundance. Dive into my books, live sessions, and daily affirmations designed to transform your mindset and align you with divine wealth. Join me today on Faith Here and start speaking prosperity into your life. Download the app, Faith Here app, now and step into your season of massive abundance. I shall see you on Faith Here app. Join me there and see you soon. I mean, the stage 3 breast cancer, and you
I did.
overcame that challenge in childhood. Um, all the challenges that you faced,
Mhm.
growing up and everything. I mean, and it's quite inspiring how you did that. So, how did that actually shape your understanding of forgiveness, to be honest? Because you will have gone through a lot from your childhood to the breast cancer to everything that happened around you. And there you are preaching forgiveness.
Well, I kind of figure if it doesn't kill me, then maybe I should learn something. I don't believe in failure. I never have, even when I was a kid. And
Mm,
I've always thought that if it doesn't kill me, that's a good day. But I'm either learning something or I've won something. There's no such thing as failure. I'm either learning or winning. Those are the only two things. So I kind of look at all of this as a learning experience. And when it came to my family, I did what I don't know if I'm sure you have these programs in the UK, but here they're called Outward Bound, and they put these troubled teens into the woods and they take them hiking and canoeing and they do all those kinds of things, hoping
yeah.
it's going to change something chemistry in their brains.
Mhm.
It did, but not for the reasons they thought. They stuck me in the woods by myself for 3 days with no food, with no food. And you can only lie to yourself for so long. And I kind of examined myself. I didn't like the person I'd become. I was angry. I was nasty. Yeah, I survived suicide, but I was still mad. And so I decided to become a lighthouse and show my family how to do it right. And that's really what shaped me. And as stuff would happen to them, I just tried to, I would get angry and then I would try and center myself and ground myself and see what I learned from the situation.
Yeah.
And I would keep going because I knew alcoholics, I always thought if my parents said to go left, I should go right because they were alcoholics. Very, very true, but not as a kid. Adults don't like it when you do that when you're a kid. They don't want you to be right. So it's really good advice for an adult. Bad advice for a 15-year-old kid. Got me in a lot of trouble. But as the years went on, I kept my eye on the prize and I knew that forgiving people made me feel better. When I got cancer, I combined Eastern and Western medicine. And that's probably the reason why I'm alive. And when you have dinner with the Grim Reaper and you don't go home with the guy, it changes you.
Okay.
I forgave cancer. I forgave the chemo. I forgave the chemo chair. I forgave radiation in the 10 operations I had. I literally forgave all of it. And that's one of the ways I've got through cancer. I kind of got through life with positivity, gratitude, and forgiveness. It's kind of how I've done it.
Wow. Wow. Ah, food for thought there, to be honest. Food for thought.
At
I
some
don't
point,
know
you
how you did it
can't
though,
get any
because
worse.
now that we're talking, I'm just thinking, I have a lot of things to forgive. I have a lot of people to forgive. I have a lot of situations and energy to forgive, actually. Because within me, I don't think I'm holding anybody or holding anything. But now that you're talking, there are, past memories that when they spang to mind, I'll be angry or resentful because that thing happened at that time. And I might have I've forgiven that person, but it still happened. So it's there.
It's like a movie playing in the back of your head and you don't know it's there.
Mm,
And you think you're managing it and you think that, oh, I've got all of this covered, but the movie, it's still playing in it. It's still back there. It's still
yeah,
playing the reel.
yeah.
And until you open that door, you're not going to remember. But once the door opens, it's great. Now remember, forgiveness is a very powerful energy. And I'm
Right.
going to stretch everybody's brains a little bit, and I apologize, but I have to say it's my little PSA. When I sat down to do this, I'm an overachiever. That's not a shocker to anybody. And I got my list together and I must have written down 50 names. I mean, I was like I was possessed and I thought this is going to be great. I'm going to be like a butterfly coming out of a cocoon or a phoenix rising from the dust and I'm going to forgive everybody and tomorrow I'm going to wake up a brand new person. Okay, it didn't work out that way. Not exactly. I advise everybody to do this before you go to bed because most people get tired after they forgive a few people. Because remember the cells I was talking about, the water study? The cells have to go someplace and they have to be transmuted. Your body needs to heal itself. So your
Right.
body heals itself when you're sleeping. Do it before bed. Most people, when they know they've forgiven somebody, they feel their shoulders are lighter. They sometimes they'll feel energy move in their solar plexus, which is right above your belly button, in the middle of your stomach. Um, Everybody's different. I did do that 50-person list, and when I woke up the next day, I spent the next 3 days in bed with what everybody thought was the stomach flu. It was not the stomach flu. It was my body trying to heal itself in the only way that it knew how. So, to be perfectly blunt, you might be in the bathroom for a little bit. You did not eat a bad piece of fish. It's just your body clearing itself.
Mm.
So just be good to yourself. And I advise everybody to just do like 10 to 12 people at a time. So make your huge 50-person list, number it from 1 to 10. And then I have worksheets in the book to help everybody out. I have the mantra in there that you need to say. And then just take them in 10-person chunks, a little bit at a time. And if you get to somebody who you've enabled number 3 and you forgive them and you still feel angry afterwards, in fact, you feel more angry and not less,
Yeah.
okay, renumber them, make them a 7. Try again in 24 hours. Be
Right.
kind to yourself. This is a process. It is a process. And I'm a very simple soul. There is no incense you have to burn unless you want to. You don't have to hold crystals or sing anything unless you want to. Knock yourself out. This is a very private thing. You sit in the middle of your bed and just kick it out.
Mm. In your book, The Ultimate Path to Forgiveness, you offer a step-by-step process for forgiving the unforgivable. You could you walk us through some of the key steps from that?
When you're forgiving the unforgivable, that could include you too. You might have some things in your past that's unforgivable. So
Of
when I
course.
said people, places, and things, whatever you're thinking about right now, you could pick the memory apart. So whoever is the unforgivable person, leave that person alone for the moment. Put them off to the side. Pick out other parts of the memory and forgive the other pieces of the memory. Maybe it happened when you were eating at a restaurant. Forgive the restaurant. Forgive the table. Maybe it happened at Christmas. Forgive the Christmas table. Forgive the people at the table. Forgive the energy. Don't forget the energy. Forgive the energy around this. And then maybe a few weeks from now, when you've made a couple passes, maybe you'll be ready to forgive that person after all. But if you're not ready to forgive the unforgivable, it's fine. Now, and I'm not trying to bash speakers or life coaches, I'm really not, but everybody talks about that brick wall that we have to get through, that we've all hit.
Yeah.
I've hit a wall. Everybody says it. Okay. Um, and then they say, well, we're going to have to get through the wall. Here's some tools to get you through the wall. And here's a jackhammer. We're going to blast our way through the wall. Okay. Stop that. You're just going to give yourself a headache. Pull out some bricks of the wall, forgive pieces of that memory, walk around the wall, keep going, double back when you can. In other words, forgive what you can and come back later. And if you never can forgive that unforgivable person because it was just that horrific, it's fine. Forgive yourself, the energy around yourself, forgive other parts of the memory and the energy around these things, and just
Yeah.
keep going.
Just
Just
keep
keep
going.
going. Just
Wow.
keep going. You don't have to forgive the unforgivable, especially if it was just I could think of a lot of things that are just so dark you just can't wrap your brain around it. And will you remember? Nobody's going to forgive and forget. I don't care how good you are. You're always going to remember it. But how do you know you've forgiven? You go on Facebook, social media, you see the person at a party, and it doesn't cause any emotional reaction in you, you know
Yeah.
you've forgiven them.
Then you know you've forgiven them. Oh my God. Wow.
No emotional reaction. You can go on Facebook, look at the name, and instead of wanting to throw your computer through the window, you actually don't care. And it's going
Yeah.
to shock you. You're going to be looking at it and say, wait, it happened to me about a couple months back. I looked at the name and I didn't care. And I was like, I did a double take. It's like, wow, I really don't care. I really didn't care.
Yeah.
I don't wish any harm to them, but I don't care.
Well, you don't
Go
care.
with God, people. I don't care. That's how you know you've actually done it.
Wow. So ultimately, if somebody really, did something really horrible, until we get to that stage where, for example, we meet them on the way and we could say hello.
You can say hello. Hey, I'm the queen. Just because I forgive you doesn't mean I want a relationship with you. So if I'm meeting you at a function or a funeral or a wedding or something, I'm the queen. I'll talk about the weather. I'm the queen of small talk. I'll talk the small talk. But I've learned over the years how to have conversations with narcissists. It's really easy. You keep
Mhm.
the conversation on their life. You don't talk about yourself. You talk about them and their kids and their job and anything to do with them. And they'll walk away thinking you're just a brilliant friend. No, I'm not. We're just talking about you. So if you've forgiven this person and you run into them, small talk, baby. Keep the conversation on that person,
On that
off
person.
yourself. And when they try and put the conversation on you,
Mhm. You switch back.
twist it around, twist it
Wow.
right around back on them. Ask them a question. I'll answer that in a minute, but tell me, how's your job going? Yeah, you're never going to answer it in a minute. You just, focus on the
Just focus on them. Wow.
small talk. Remember, you don't have to have a relationship with people you've forgiven. You do it
Mm,
for you. You don't do it for them. They're still wrong. They're still awful. You do it for you.
that's
Let me
true.
give you an example. Let's say, and I do not have an Aunt Martha, which is why I chose this name as an example.
Hmm.
Let's say you're going to Christmas with your family,
Yeah.
and your parents always sit you next to Aunt Martha.
Yeah.
And you've asked them not to for years because she's negative, she drinks, she pushes your button, and she's awful. And she does it every year. And you go home, it takes you a week to get out of the funk that you found yourself in because it's just that bad. So what do? I want you to forgive Aunt Martha before you even get to Christmas. I want you to pick out various Christmases that she was particularly awful and
Yeah.
forgive that memory and the energy around that memory and forgive Aunt Martha and the energy around Aunt Martha. And I want you to take a few nights in a row to forgive various parts of that memory and really see if you can get it down. So by the time Christmas actually comes, she's going to say the same thing. She's going to be negative. She's going to drink and she's going to try and push your buttons, but you won't care.
Mm,
She won't be able to push your buttons
that's
because you
true.
care.
That's very
It's going to
true.
be there will be no emotional charge.
That's
Now, she might push a button. You might have to go out to your car and say, I forgive her. I forgive her. I forgive her. I've done this. I forgive her. I went out to my car once and I must have said, I forgive them 50 times. Did I mean it? Absolutely not. But it kind of got the party started because I'd already forgiven these people. And when that night I did my proper forgiveness work, which I actually do before bed every night. It's a
wow.
process. You're not going to change Aunt Martha, but you sure can change yourself.
That's true. That is very true. Before we go on, for people that might want to contact you, how can they? Or buy your books?
They can go to Amazon. I have the ebook, the audio book, and the paperback available for everybody. You can
Yeah.
also go to my website. My first name, thanks to my mother, is spelled a little strangely. Thank you, Mom. It's Katharine Giovanni.com.
Giovanni.com. Okay, great. That will be in the show notes anyway for people that might want to purchase your books or contact you. Thank you. Do you coach people around forgiveness?
All the time. All the time. Sometimes people will read the book and they just can't bring themselves to forgive their tens or they just need help with the process. So I do private coaching all the time.
All the time. Okay, great. It's good to know for people that might want to contact you for private coaching. So it's good to know that you do that as well. Thank
Yeah,
you
no
so
worries.
much. Thank you so much for coming on our show. Thank you so
Oh,
much for
my
enlightening
pleasure.
around forgiveness. Thank you.
My pleasure.
For anyone listening who is going through their own struggles or holding on to the past pain, what advice have you got to give them?
I think the advice I like to give to everybody is you're worthy enough to
Yeah.
live a life of joy.
You're worthy enough to
You
live.
are worthy enough. Our birthright is a life of joy. We were not meant to live in a refrigerator box on the street, poor as church mice. We are meant to live in joy. We are meant to live in happiness. So that's my message for everybody. You are worthy enough to live the life of love and prosperity. It's your birthright.
It is our birthright. Thank you so much for joining us today. One more last question before you go, very briefly. Um, I know you also speak about the power of intuition in everyone's life or everyday
Mhm.
life. How can people tap into these intuitive abilities?
Well, because I'm overachiever, I wrote a book about that once called the Little Bird on Your Shoulder. Everybody on the planet is intuitive. It's not just the special people and, the priests and all these other people. Everybody is intuitive. Everybody does this naturally. You either hear it, feel it, know it, or just sense it. You walk into a room and it just feels wrong. You don't know why, it just feels off. Walk out of the room, look around to see who's there, and then walk out. That's intuition. If you can picture your childhood bedroom in your mind right now, you can see the color of the walls in the bed, that's clairvoyance. And that merely means you see the answer. You see the universe is talking to you in pictures. So you'll see it in a movie, you'll see it around you.
Yeah,
Um, Sometimes your intuition will talk to you. You'll hear voices in your head. It does not mean you're schizophrenic because it sounds just like your own voice in your own head. But in life and death situations, maybe it'll happen to a friend of mine. She fell asleep at the wheel and
yeah,
she woke up because she heard a voice say, "Wake up!" And she woke up like this and she turned the wheel and narrowly missed getting killed. That you can work with this. Intuition is it's that little bird in your shoulder that everybody has, and learning to actually tap into your intuition is going to help your life a lot. It's going to make life a little easier because you can see farther faster than we can.
wow. So everybody is intuitive.
Everybody,
Everybody has got that.
everybody, everybody. You either see it, hear it, know it, or just sense it. Everybody on the planet does it. You just don't realize what you're doing, but everybody is intuitive.
Mm. Wow. Wow. That is so interesting. Wow. Thank you so much for coming on our show today. I wish we
My
still had
pleasure.
time, but we've got to go. Thank you so much for coming on our show.
All right. Thanks for having me.
Oh my God. Until next time, it's Shola and Katharine on Mission to Inspire. Keep watching our shows and keep downloading, keep listening, keep commenting. We would also like to share Katharine's, I'm going to share it anyway in the show notes where you can get our books. And she also stated that she does private coaching. So I'm sure you send us the link, or will they be able to get that from your website?
Yes, they can.
Okay, great. All right then. Thank you, everyone. Until next time, it's Katharine and Shola on mission to inspire. Bye, everyone. Real Captain Kick from his days as a U.S. Army captain. So I'm gonna leave it as that. And I want to say something about your religion. Are you ready to unlock a life of abundance, wealth, and purpose? I'm Shola Ajibade, your money, abundance, and prosperity coach. And I'm inviting you to join me on the Faith Hub, where faith meets prosperity. Inside this hub, Faith Hub, you get to access my exclusive coaching, powerful money affirmations, and life-changing resources to help you attract financial success and walk boldly in abundance. Dive into my books, live sessions, and daily affirmations designed to transform your mindset and align you with divine wealth. Join me today on Faith Here and start speaking prosperity into your life. Download the app, Faith Here app, now and step into your season of massive abundance. I shall see you. on Faith Your Have. Join me there and see you soon.